Isaac, how much Lego can you shove up your bum?
How much Lego can you stuff up your bum? Oh, for Christ's sake!
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In the south of France, I was here yesterday for the Gen 4 launch. As you would have seen on my Instagram story, I posted my first Q&A. I haven't actually read through the questions yet. Slightly concerned already by what I'm seeing. We shall get started. Thank you for sending your questions in. Oh God, here we go. Ash, who used to work for our team, has said Gen 4 or old school Verdansk. That's a hard one. I don't think anything's going to top Verdansk, is it really? Like, come on, back in the day. Political reasons, I'll say Gen 4. OnlyFans when? Not answering that. Someone's just put Jeet. Tipcum Daily has obviously commented, Pepe Farty or Dan Tipcum dead serious? Well, it's got to be Dan, isn't it? Isaac has said, how much Lego can you shove up your bum? Not answering that. Sky said, who's your stylist? I think that's a bit of sarcasm there. I don't have a stylist, obviously. Look at me, it's just a mess. I'm wearing you're talking behind one of my autism t-shirts today. Who is my biggest inspiration / motivator? So that's a question I get a few times. I don't actually ever really think about that. It's hard to think off the top of my head who's someone that I really respect. It's a question I get quite a lot. It's a hard one to answer that. I don't often think about it. I mean, in racing terms, it would be Senna and Hunt. But in life, I don't know, I'm probably going to go with my dad. Yeah, let's go with dad. And here comes the spam from a few of you will remember, a chap called Ted.
What are we most excited for? Pissing off the French in a Hellcat. Excited, isn't it?
He said, hottest teammate you've ever had. If you could choose one colour to never see again, what would it be? Mental question. What the fuck is yeast? What's the most you've ever paid for a pint? Now that's a good question. I reckon it's got to be over 10 quid. There would have been like some event or something. Pints in London now in a half decent pub are £8.50. It's just, yeah, ridiculous. Should I LS swap my 05 Volkswagen Charan? Absolutely, 100%. Whack an LS7 straight in it. Which cuisine is the worst and why is it Filipino food? When was your first kiss? Probably, I think I was 14 or 15. What's the biggest fruit you could fit in your mouth hole? When skids or 32 GTR? Great question. A bit strapped for cash at the moment because I bought a Camaro actually the other day, which I will feature on this channel soon. I bought a 1972 Camaro, which was basically a race car. Yeah, but I still have an itch to have a GTR, so that will happen at some point. When more Twitch streams, knobhead? I haven't done too much on Twitch recently, mainly because I like streaming COD, and obviously people who watch me aren't watching me because they want to watch COD. Like if you want to watch COD, you're going to go and watch someone who's a pro at it, so I understand that. I do want a sim at some point, so that might happen. Probably when I move houses though, which should be in the relatively near future, because I would like to start doing some sim stuff. What is your favourite racetrack and why? Macau, hands down Macau. Macau's like, I don't know, there's a lot of street circuits that don't sort of have much of a flow, like they're quite awkward and, you know, too tight or whatever, and Macau is not one of those. Like, it's got some very fast sections, and obviously I've got some good memories there. So if it wasn't a street circuit, I would go with Silverstone. I think Silverstone is, yeah, just a very special place to drive. Like a car with high downforce around Silverstone is very special. Thoughts on the new Gen 4? I mean, as I said in the reel I posted yesterday, pretty mind-blowing, the step from Gen 3 to Gen 4. I haven't driven it yet, so when I have, I will give you my unfiltered opinions then. Can I buy your Ford GT off you for £3? No, Ben, no you can't. £4 maybe, might start thinking about it. What's your favourite teammate? I really enjoyed being teammates with Jayan Darivala in F2. I really enjoyed that year. A lot of respect for Jayan, enjoyed that year. I am also enjoying this year with Pepe, I have to say I am. What was your opinion on the Southeast Asian race? Maybe a new country or revisit past ones? Yeah, I mean, we're doing 2 in China this year, but yeah, we're not going to Jakarta, or yeah, we're not doing that many races in Asia this year, which is a bit of a shame. We've obviously got Japan, which is going to be a night race, which is going to be very cool. If you could be in any motorsports beside Formula E or F1, what would it be? Good question. I've always liked the idea of doing GT racing, especially now, like, you know, F1's a bit crap. I don't know, I struggle with the idea of BOP, to be honest. I just don't like that whole concept. But I would love to do some GT racing, like on the Nordschleife. Never raced on the Nordschleife. Like, for me, that is a bit of a dream. So yeah, maybe some GT stuff on some cool tracks like the Nordschleife. I'd love to. Initially, what was the hardest part about adapting your driving style towards Formula E? To be honest, yeah, it's a question I've had a few times. It's not night and day different. Obviously, like, it's a bit bizarre the first time you do it. I would say with the Gen 3 car, which obviously doesn't rely solely on hydraulic brakes, you have like a lot of systems intervention and the motors do most of the braking. That was quite odd when I got in the Gen 3 car. But now, I mean, after 4 years of all the teams developing that car, it all feels quite intuitive, to be honest. Obviously it's weird not changing gears and not having an engine sound, but yeah, and obviously the torque curve is very different. You can set up your throttle map however you like, of course, but well, it has to be mandated at the beginning of the season. You have to set it, but yeah, I like a linear throttle map. Yeah, there was a few different things. Obviously coming out of cars with high downforce into something that, didn't have a lot of downforce at all, not on slicks. I mean, the way I would describe the Gen 3 car, it's just like a very fast, light road car, basically. Like, that's sort of what it's like to drive. Moves around a lot and it's quite fun in a way, I have to say, especially on some of the better tracks. Once the grip comes up a bit, it's pretty cool. Any plans for WEC? Not at this current moment. I mean, why not? I just don't really want to go and do LMP2. I'd love to obviously do some hypercar stuff. Who's not going to go and do hypercar at Le Mans? So yeah, we'll see. Favourite song? That's always a hard one, and I did think about that more recently. I'd say my favourite song is probably Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits and Keep Their Heads Ringing by Dr. Dre. So two pretty stark differences in genre, but I would say those are my two favourite songs. What's the feeling about driving an FE car and an old classic cars like your YouTube? Well, I mean, they're pretty polar opposite, if you're asking the difference between them. Both are cool in their own ways, but I'm unapologetically a petrol head. Like, I do love old classics, old American cars, and I just like the character of classics. Yeah. Long-haired mullets or R9? Mullets all day. What track has the best toilet? I'll have to give that one some thought. I don't even know why I'm giving that question some thought, but yes. How much did you enjoy the Madrid E-Prix? Love you, Dan. Hope you like the bracelet. Oh, that's very sweet. It was a fantastic event. I felt a bit sorry for my teammate who was being bombarded at every turn, but the event was really one of the best, I would say, that we've had in Formula E. Not just from like a fan's numbers perspective, but the track's fantastic as well. And it was actually better to race on than I expected. I expected overtaking to be a bit harder than it was, but there was some fantastic racing. What made you get the mullet? I was just a bit fed up of short back and sides, to be honest. Formula E or Formula 2? It's a hard question. It's like comparing chalk and cheese. Look, as I said, I do like noise, but Formula 2 doesn't make the best noise. It used to. If we're talking the GP2 cars, which I only drove a couple of times, the V8 ones, I think they stopped in 2016 or 17. Yeah, that was pretty special. Hot Wheels or Matchbox? Hot Wheels. All day long. I used to collect Hot Wheels when I was younger. I used to get pocket money every week from probably the age of 5 to about 8 or 9. And I used to get £1 a week on Sundays, and we used to go to the local toy shop, and I used to get a Hot Wheel every week. They were 99p back in the day. I think some Hot Wheels are about £4 now. So yeah, they were 99p. And I remember one time I went 100 times and saved up all the 1 pennies. So there was 1 week where I could buy 2. That's how obsessed with cars and Hot Wheels I was. How many laps does it take to learn a new circuit? Do you think you could drive blindfolded? I don't think you could drive blindfolded. If you're going to try, definitely try it on the sim. To learn a new circuit, I mean, obviously we all prepare on the sim. I mean, if we'd gone to a racetrack blind and let's say we're in a road car, let's say an M3 or even the FE car, I would say we'll be within, a tenth or so of what our best could be in about 20-ish laps, something like that. How many ducks could you hold at once? Depends what sort of duck, I guess. 6. Let's go 6. How does it feel to be the funniest driver on the grid? I don't know, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't promote myself. Feels all right, I guess, but get myself in some trouble, as you all know. Any plans for other motorsports? Kind of had that question, or like, you know, let's say endurance, rally, etc. Okay, I've always liked the idea of doing some rallying. You know, I love drifting. I've always had enormous respect for rally drivers. I would like to give that a go, yes. If you could add any tracks to the Formula E calendar, what would you pick? It's got to be Macau, I'm afraid. Carol has said, your favourite driver coach since you began karting? I've had a couple of good driver coaches. But I'm going to go with Ewan Hankey, who was my driver coach when I transitioned from karts to cars. Best Top Gear episode? Fuck me, that's a hard one. I think the mobility scooter one's got to be up there because it's got one of my favourite quotes of all time, where James May's being useless on his mobility scooter and Jeremy goes...
I mean, look at him, he's pretty pointless.
And Hammond goes, do we,
in these unique circumstances, merely leave him or shoot him and leave him?
And Clarkson goes,
because we were working as a team, we decided to just leave him.
I think that's probably one of my favourite quotes of the entire show. That one's really good. And actually, the last ever Top Gear before it became the Grand Tour, the one with the cheap SUVs, like the Vauxhall Frontera and the shitty, I think, Suzuki thing it was, that was very good. But it's impossible to pick a favourite. I have probably watched every Top Gear episode 20 times, probably more. Favourite insult? James May did a pretty good insult on Top Gear Ground Force when Jeremy kept trying to destroy his shed, and it was
a fully rigged rate A1 ocean-going pillar.
That was quite a good insult. That's probably one of my favourites. Samuel's made this is a very mature question. Have you ever smashed into someone on purpose? Brackets, yes. We've answered it. Do you like complaining? He's also asked. Yeah, love it, mate. Yeah. Absolutely. There's a lot wrong, isn't there? So will we see you back on the podium soon? I think it's coming, yeah. I mean, the car's been good this year. We've been very unlucky in the first few races, but being taken out and stuff, lost quite a lot of points, which has been a shame, but very close to being on the podium last time out. Best FE race you ever did? It's got to be Jakarta. Like, I had a bit of everything that race, and obviously I won, so that's probably my favourite. Favourite hot dog sauce? Don't really like hot dogs that much, to be honest. It's probably quite controversial. It's just sort of industrial waste in a plastic coating. How exciting is the new Gen 4 car in nature? It's got presence. The Gen 3 car did not have presence, and the Gen 4 car does. As I said in the video yesterday, proper bit of kit, and I think people are going to enjoy watching that. Any favourite special animals, not counting dogs or cats? I like massive fuck off birds like eagles and things that just glide around and look sick. But other than that, dogs. Xbox or PlayStation? I was always PlayStation. Pepe, David or Sergio as a teammate? Actually, someone asked me earlier, favourite teammate. I forgot about Sergio. Apologies, mate. But I really enjoyed working with Sergio. So he's definitely up there as well. I'd say overall, it's still Sergio. I knew him a bit better. We were a bit closer, but like I said, I've enjoyed working with Pepe so far, and also David, to be honest. I have never had a bad teammate, to be honest. If you were a mermaid, what colour tail would you have? Purple. I don't know. Do you remember, wow, okay. Do you remember karting at Filshing Manor when you were very young? I was a marshal. That's where I first started karting. Yeah, I do remember that. That was when I would have been 7 years old. Craig, I do remember, mate. Good times before it all became a bit too serious. What race are you most looking forward to in the remaining season? I think it's got to be Tokyo, the night race at Tokyo. Yeah, that's going to be very cool. The event itself is cool, the city's cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Will you update another episode about cars or car culture on your YouTube channel? Yeah, we will upload more car videos through the coming months. Today, in fact. We'll be filming one. So how goated are the new FE cars? I would like to answer that question when I've actually driven it, but I've heard good things from the drivers who have. They do say it's a bit heavy, is one of the only drawbacks, but I mean, apparently it's like very, very fast. When is the next vlog going to come out? Well, I actually have a video ready from last year in Berlin, which will come out soon, which was with me and Ted. So probably next week. Hi Dan, what is your favourite movie? Oof. Very difficult. Anything Tarantino has got to be up there, like Inglourious Bastards. The Hateful Eight's underrated as well. Django, but I also like, I can't say that sentence because it's just going to get clipped. The film Snatch. Instead of, I'm going to say the film Snatch, not I like Snatch. So, yeah, just the film. I did just say it, didn't I? Yeah, fuck off. Yeah, Snatch is up there for me. What else? Can't think of. Comedy films, I think The Other Guys is just brilliant. Step Brothers as well, I watched a lot when I was younger. I'm missing a few, but there's a few. Favourite time of the day? When it becomes an acceptable time to have beer. Where'd you get those pants from? These ones, mate, they're from Prada. No, they're from Gucci, yeah. I got them in Miami. What's your favourite livery of all the cars you've driven? I actually think the one last time out in Madrid was pretty cool. The only time I've ever been able to design a livery was in F4, and it was like matte grey with like pink accents. That was pretty cool. But I think the Red Bull livery, you know, maybe the F3 car I drove, I think that's up there. 2021, Lewis or Max, who should have won? As you know, I'm unapologetically a very big Max fan, but I am also a fan of Lewis. Lewis was robbed that year, yeah. Hey, you're the knobhead. Anyways, how have you been in general? Doing all right, yeah, chugging along. What's your favourite swear word? It's got to be fuck, isn't it? You know, generic, but could probably think of some worse ones, but we won't go too far into that now. We getting into F1 or what? Nah, that's a long answer. Could do with a character like you in the paddock. Yeah, I've heard that one a few times. I should have been, but let's not delve into that. Very unlikely these days. From your point of view, which is easier to drive, the Gen 3 or the Gen 4? I've not driven the Gen 4 yet. But I can guarantee you it will be the Gen 3. The Gen 4 is going to be a handful. Why are we all knobheads? Surely some of us should be shafts too. Very good, very funny. Your go-to holiday destination? I think around here is pretty bloody lovely. The south of France is good. To be honest, like we do so much travelling from a young age, I like being at home. One place I've always wanted to go to just to do nothing for 2 weeks is the Maldives, never been. Which football club do you support? I am a United supporter. Carrick for the permanent role, please. How do you mentally prepare for a Formula E race? I've never really had any superstitions before a race ever, other than maybe like I normally have an espresso pretty much every time I get in the car, just before I get in the car. I don't struggle with nerves at all. Some people might say, oh, is that because you just don't care? It's just like, well, no, I definitely care. But I just sort of tell myself it'll be what it'll be. Like, it is what it is. Like, if I control all the variables that I can control, that's all I can do. And most of the time I do that okay, but, you know, not perfectly all the time. If a catastrophe strikes one day, which car will you choose to drive to survive? There's a thing on Top Gear actually a few years ago called the Marauder, which was like a massive like military-based thing, but it had like quilted leather and other nice bits. Probably that. They put a bomb under it and it was absolutely fine. Pretty amazing thing. So yeah, the Marauder. Can you drive a video of a POV in the Gen 4? Yeah, I'm sure we can make that happen at some point. I'm not going to be driving it for a little while though, to be honest, I don't think. Which is the best grandstand in Monaco to witness this May's race? Good question. FE or F1? I would say the second part of the swimming pool chicane, because you really get like a sense of how fast things are when you watch from there. Top 5 Top Gear specials. I'd have to see a list. It's very hard to think off the top of my head. Oh, I love the one where they're in the jungle. What was that? What country were they in? Where he had the Range Rover, the Jimny and the Land Cruiser. Was it Peru or something like that? I can't remember, but when they were in the forest, I absolutely loved that. Just James and Jeremy walking around with machetes. It was just, yeah, just everything about that was brilliant. Polar special was very good. The Middle Eastern special was very funny. The first ever special they did, Africa, was great. Just all of them. How much are you loving racing right now? Not as much as I maybe have in the past, but I still enjoy it for the most part. 7 out of 10. What is the trick to winning at Macau? Tracks like that just sort of, I don't know, they separate the very good from the good. You know, very, very difficult, very technical. You know, loads of bumps, loads of different surfaces, loads of different sort of types of corners. It's just very hard. Obviously good preparation, right amount of risk taking and just what you're born with really. You know, if you're talented, that helps. When you win in London, what celebratory pose are you gonna hit? I feel like I should think of that. Maybe it should definitely be a piss take of some description of something. What is your greatest achievement? Oof. Having a Ferrari at 21, maybe? Yeah, we'll go with that. What's your favourite cheese? I do like cheddar. It's boring, isn't it? But I do. Do I have a girlfriend? Not at this current moment. No, I'm girlfriendless. Favourite corner around Macau? Probably the chicane, which I think is like turn 8 and 9 or something at the top of the hill. Might be further on than that, but it's basically like flat out in F3. Pretty special, but like only just. Would you rather drive a Peel P50 or the Red Bull RB22 P50? When are we going to see the Camaro? I would say a month or 2. It's currently just being turned into something you can actually use on the road. What was your favourite subject in school? Anything, you have your A-levels tomorrow, and I can't think of anything better. Well, firstly, best of luck. My favourite subject would have been just anything science related. I quite liked physics and chemistry, to be honest. New team for season 13, unannounced yet and undecided, to be brutally honest. Obviously enjoyed my time a lot at my current team, but we'll see. We'll do what's best for my career. What's your Nando's order? Sir Tictum. I like that Fino Pitta thing, but I haven't been to Nando's for a long time. I'd medium spiciness, I know it's boring. Which city do you want to see Formula E race at next? I think like middle of New York would be pretty cool. New York. Keep it stock or mod it, depends what car it is. If like it's a low mileage, you know, original R34 GTR, for example, you'll probably want to keep that as is. If it's a higher mileage one, a bit cheaper, maybe not even a GTR, just a GTT, mod it. Just depends on the car. Opinions on Fiat 500s? Fine, yeah. Ambivalent, I guess. What are you most looking forward to about driving this car, except it being faster? I just think the permanent four-wheel drive, and just, you know, it'd be nice to be back in a car with a bit of downforce again. That'll be cool. Favourite memes? I mean, as you can tell, I am a bit susceptible to some brain rot. I did enjoy like the Italian brain rot era. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy sitting on older men's laps? Right, brilliant. For context, that was because I posted a photo of me and Jeff yesterday. Stupid question. What's a fashion trend you want to come back? Just people normalising wearing suits and being smart, like in the 40s, 50s. Suits. Favourite biscuit to dunk in a tea or coffee? You know what, like, I don't think I've ever, well, very rarely have I ever dunked a biscuit in coffee or tea. Milk chocolate digestive, that's boring, I know, but... Harry has said, is that your dad or your lover? Great. He's put, are you good at touch rugby? I think we're done, mate, I think that's enough. Thank you very much for sending all your questions, everybody. If you like this kind of thing, it will go up on YouTube. Support in any way you can, and I will do more of them. And feel free next time to ask, you know, more personal, out there questions, rather than what racing series do you want to be in? So, yeah, thank you very much for watching.